Jesse's Jabber with a friendly face. Welcome into your favorite space. If it's on his mind or it's in the air, and you've got a minute, drag up a chair. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Stay a while and enjoy the chat. Jesse's Jabber, Jesse's Jabber. Time goes by, life goes faster. Take a minute just to clear your head. Maybe there's comfort in the words that he says. Going through life with his kids and his wife. Throws in sports and some PS5. No hot takes, he just shoots it straight. Just a regular guy at the end of the day. If you found your way through the endless noise and clatter, listen in, maybe tell a friend. This is Jesse's Jabber.
Every kid believes they're the main character in the story. Because they are. Their world revolves around what they're excited about, nervous about, what they're embarrassed by, and what they're looking forward to. As parents, we sometimes forget that because we're trying to manage the entire cast. Back to school season is a perfect backdrop to remind us of that. For us as parents, it's another school year, another set of forms to sign, another stack of supplies to buy, another calendar to color code, another round of meet the teacher nights, school pictures, lunch accounts, bus routes, trying to remember who has gym shoes on Tuesday and library books on Thursday. And don't even get me started on drop-off lines. But that's not what our kids see. Every first day feels ordinary to the adults because we've lived through dozens of them. But to the child walking through those school doors, it might be one of the biggest days they've ever experienced. Sometimes the most important thing we can do isn't solve the moment. It's remember how it feels from their side of it. This is Jesse's Jabber. Outnumbered, overstimulated, and on the mic. Let's get into it. It's that time of year again. Walmart looks like the Hunger Games. Parents are calculating how many boxes of crayons a child can possibly need. Somebody's already lost a backpack, and they haven't even taken it to school yet. And somewhere out there, there's a dad wondering why a scientific calculator still costs as much as a car payment. For us, it looks a little different than it does for most families. We don't have one kid getting ready for school. We have the squad. Different grades, different schools, different personalities, different worries. Somebody can't find their shoes. Somebody's convinced they're going to fail math before they've even walked into the classroom. Somebody's excited because they finally get to be in middle school. Somebody's terrified because they're the new kid. Somebody is just wondering if their best friend is still in their class. Meanwhile, Maria and I, we're over here trying to remember who needs what paperwork, who's supposed to bring tissues, who needs a Chromebook charger, who's outgrown every pair of shorts they own, and whether we remembered to sign all 17 forms that somehow showed up overnight. It's chaos. But while we're looking at the calendar, they're looking at the moment. We're thinking about schedules. They're thinking about lunch tables. We're worried about transportation. They're worried about whether anyone will sit with them. We're calculating budgets. They're calculating whether they look cool in the shoes we bought. We're trying to survive the week. They're trying to survive first period. The stakes feel completely different depending on where you're standing. And here's the thing. That doesn't make their worries small. As adults, we have this tendency to accidentally minimize things because we've lived through them already. It's just fourth grade. It's just a spelling test. It's just one soccer game. It's just middle school. But it isn't just anything to them. It's their whole world. Because right now, they are the main character in the only story they've lived. Think about it. The first time we interviewed for a job. The first time we got rejected. The first time someone broke our heart. The first time we had to stand up in front of a crowd. Those moments probably seem tiny compared to everything we've experienced since. But at the time, they felt enormous. Our kids are living through their firsts every single day. And sometimes the greatest gift we can give them is remembering how big that moment feels from their side of the story. Because when someone feels seen, they're far more likely to feel safe. And sometimes that's exactly what they need before they ever need our advice. Every kid is walking into school thinking they're the main character. To the kindergartner, this might be the biggest day they've ever lived. To the middle schooler, they're wondering if they'll have anyone to sit with at lunch. To the high school freshman, every hallway feels like it's a mile long. To the senior, they're quietly realizing this is the last first day they'll ever have. And somewhere in the parking lot, there's a parent sitting in a driver's seat, hoping they packed everything, signed everything, and somehow prepared their child for a day that they have to face on their own. The emotions are different. The worries are different. The excitement is different. But to each one of them, their story is the only story they're living. And honestly, that's true for all of us. Every one of us wakes up carrying something that feels enormous because we're living it from the inside. We see the world through our own hopes, our own fears, our own disappointments, and our own expectations. It's not selfish, it's just human. The challenge comes when we forget that everyone else is living a story just as real as ours. Our child isn't just another student walking into a classroom. They're walking into their classroom. Our spouse isn't just going to work. They're walking into their pressures. Our coworker isn't just having a bad day. They're carrying a chapter we may know nothing about. Maybe the greatest thing we can do this school year isn't buy the perfect backpack or organize the perfect schedule. It's remembering that the people around us aren't supporting characters in our story. They're the main character in theirs. And that's true whether you're raising one child or raising what feels like an entire squad. Seeing people that way will change the way we parent, the way we lead, the way we love, and the way we live. Now, if you've listened to this show for very long, you know our family experiences all of this on a slightly different scale. We hear, wait, how many kids? We get the double takes at restaurants. We need 2 shopping buggies at the grocery store. We spend the first month of school trying to remember who has Mrs. Johnson, who has Coach Smith, and which kid needs to be picked up from which practice. People ask me all the time, so what's normal around your house? The truth is, I have no idea. Our normal probably looks chaotic to you. Your normal probably looks quiet to us. Neither one's wrong. Every family has its own normal. 2 kids, 11 kids. Public school, private school. Homeschool, stay-at-home parents, working parents. Big house, small apartment. Packed schedules, slow Saturdays. Normal isn't a destination we finally arrive at one day. It isn't something we measure by comparing ourselves to the family down the street or the highlight reels we scroll past online. It's simply the rhythm our family faithfully lives every day. The problem is we spend so much time chasing someone else's normal that we forget to appreciate our own. We think, if our house was a little quieter, if the kids fought less, if we had more money, if our calendar wasn't so full, then we'd finally feel normal. But the family we're comparing ourselves to is looking across the fence, thinking the exact same thing. Because every home has something you can't see. Every family has struggles they don't post. Every marriage has conversations no one else hears. Every parent has moments when they wonder if they're getting any of this right. Normal has never meant easy. It's never meant perfect. It's never meant effortless. It just means this is the life we've been entrusted with today. So maybe, instead of asking if our family is normal, ask a better question. Are we loving each other well? Are we growing together? Are we creating that home where people feel safe, seen, and wanted? Because when my kids are grown, I don't think they'll remember whether our house looked normal. They'll remember whether it felt like home. And that's a whole lot more important. I'm convinced pencils disappear overnight because we buy hundreds every August and somehow none exist by October. Glue sticks evaporate. Water bottles grow legs. Lunch boxes, they come home with mysterious smells that even science can't explain. And at least one permission slip will be found crumpled in the bottom of the backpack the night before it was due. That's back to school season. It's loud, expensive, emotional, exhausting, and somehow a little magical all at the same time. One day, these mornings will be over. The backpacks won't be piled by the door. The lunch boxes won't be on the counter. The house, it'll be quieter than we ever imagined. And we'll miss some of the very chaos we're trying to survive right now. So take a breath before the next school drop off. Look at the kid in the back seat and remember that this day matters to them in a way we may not fully understand. Ask one more question. Listen a little longer. Celebrate the small victories. And don't spend so much energy chasing somebody else's version of normal that you miss the beauty of the one sitting in your living room tonight. Our family doesn't have to be picture perfect. It just has to be a place where people are loved well. And if you're packing lunches at midnight, signing forms in the car line, reheating coffee for the 3rd time, and wondering whether you're doing enough, let me encourage you. The fact that you care this much is already evidence that you're showing up. So this week, remember that the kid worried about finding their classroom isn't being dramatic. They're the main character in the biggest chapter of their story right now. And your family's version of normal doesn't have to look like anybody else's. If your kids know they're loved, know they're safe, and know someone will be wanting to ask them how their day went, you're doing better than you think. Everybody's the main character in their own story. And the people we love most deserve to feel seen in theirs. This is Jesse's Jabber. outnumbered, overstimulated, and on the mic. Drive safe. Hug your people. See their story. And we'll talk again soon.